They say performance has an expiration date, but what if they're wrong? No matter where you start, the goal's the same: to be better, stronger, wiser, bolder. We're here for the relentless, those that don't back down, don't compromise, and don't quit. This is training for Masters athletes by Masters athletes, with a community that holds you steady. So say goodbye to random workouts, because whether you're stepping into following a program for the first time or stepping onto the podium, your journey starts here.
All right, team, welcome to the Boulder Athlete Podcast. I'm Josh, and I'm hanging out today with Tim Sanchez, who is a Boulder athlete, a superintendent, and just won MFC Fitness Championship, which is awesome. And you've just been an OG kind of in the sport, and I think you've been with Boulder for a little while.
Yeah,
So
a little
I'm
over
into that.
about a year.
Okay. In fact, I just mentioned to some buddies of mine today, hey, it's been about, I think, almost a year, because it was around Fittest of the Coast last year, I recall, that I joined Boulder. And yeah, we're up on that 1-year anniversary. Exciting. Okay, Tim. So look, you and I have never chatted before. We've been on a couple calls together, and I've seen your face, and I know you're an awesome, positive figure in the community. But I'm just excited to get to know each other a little bit. And so let's just catch up on a few things. I'd love first, Tim, for you to just talk a little bit about your background. Where did Tim start? Like, where did you grow up? Kind of what were your life-shaping moments that led you to be the man that you are?
All right. Well, I live in Michigan, and I grew up about an hour and 10 minutes away from where I live now. So I grew up in Shepherd, Michigan, and went to high school there, went to college at Central Michigan, which was right next to that, about 10 minutes away. And I grew up playing sports, basketball, track, football. Tore my ACL sophomore year of football, and tried to rehab coming back. Back then, it wasn't like you're up like they do now, where you're up around and moving. I was laying down for 15 straight days and lost everything, and then I had to try to rebuild it back up. Again, everything happens for a reason, right? So yeah, so went to college, and I started coaching football at the high school that I went to right away. So I knew I wanted to be a teacher and a coach right away. So. And then working out wise, I would just do the basic bodybuilding, bis and tris, chest and tris, that kind of a split all throughout college. And then I was able to get a job here. I actually was able to teach and coach with my brother for the first 5 years in Grayling. So that's where I'm at now, and that's where I've been. I've actually lived in Grayling now longer than the place I grew up in. So this is our home. And so this is where I've been my whole professional career. Started off as a teacher and a coach, and then athletic director, and then assistant principal at the high school, and then principal at the middle school, and now superintendent. This is my 4th year doing the superintendent gig. And in terms of CrossFit, it started. I needed something else other than just lifting. So I tried triathlons. Did one of those, and that was just a half, not a full, a half, and that was brutal. Yeah, that was brutal. Not a great distance, anything. So. And then, so I was like, I'll try a Spartan race. And that was fun. That was challenging, but I didn't know how to climb a rope. So I Googled how to climb a rope, and this big, huge, thick dude was teaching how to climb a rope. Ended up being Jason Khalipa. And so then the YouTube started spitting out more CrossFit stuff. And found CrossFit and ended up loving it. So that was the summer of 2017. So 2018 was my first open. And I think like everybody, I still remember my first CrossFit workout. It was an open. It was the dumbbell snatch, box jump over, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 dumbbell snatch. And then I saw Cole Sager. I didn't know who he was at the time, but I saw Cole Sager do it. But that looks easy. I'll do that. I did not finish. I think maybe I got 2 rounds in and tapped out. So, but yeah, that was my intro into CrossFit, I guess.
Right on. Yeah, I remember that workout specifically. It's showed up a couple times now. I think maybe both in the open, and both were equally terrible. I remember I did one as a younger man, and it was okay. And then I did it. It came out like 2 to 3 years later. I forget exactly the details, but it did not go as well. And it was murder. And naturally, I remember the first time you did it, just the low back destruction. Because I think that was like the first time we had done dumbbell snatches.
I think so.
In the open.
It was for me anyway, but I think back then it was as well. Yeah, I still don't love burpees. I'm trying to get better at burpees, but I like dumbbell snatches now. But again, back then it was not easy.
No, no, not at all. Well, your fitness has certainly evolved and come a long way. I was going to say this to the end, but because we're here, MFC. So you just did MFC. You won the 45 to 49 division. That's awesome, man. MFC is a serious competition. I've never done it. I know a bunch of people who have done it. I know the people who run it, and it's incredibly well respected. And there's a lot of big time athletes there. Talk me through like your preparation for MFC. You are a social media countdown savant. You have something on there every day. The way how you keep up with it is just incredible. I'm sure it keeps you accountable.
Yeah,
But
that's just it. It's accountable both to get the work in, but then also it's accountable to do my cool down because that's when I do it during my cool down. So that makes sure that I get that in every day.
you're like on the bike, just like cutting up videos.
Bingo. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
You figured out your secret, Tim.
So yeah, the prep was great. Well, the last couple of years I've been dealing with some injuries, and it seemed to be right around semifinals time. So 2 years ago was a shoulder injury where I couldn't even do the semis, and then this last year, which is my last year in the 40 to 44, I thought it was a hip injury. So I was doing all kinds of stuff for my hip, and it ended up being, I found out later, well after semis, actually just a few months ago, that it was a upper quad strain. And so I had to work on that, but that pain was radiating at the hip. So I was wasting time rehabbing the wrong thing. So, but now that's healed up, squatting, even just catching anything, receiving anything in a power was difficult, just even in that quarter squat. So being able to be healthy was great. Aging up for the first time was awesome, but I won't lie, like we were coming into that, and Chris Anderson is on the list, and
Yeah.
he is a stud. Took, I think, third last year at the games and fourth this year, and so I think everybody was kind of walking in there playing for second. So, but yeah, so that was a very, very nice surprise. The programming was good for me, and so ended up having a good weekend.
Heck yeah. Well, one, major congrats. Two, I love the humility with which you're sharing this. Yeah, Chris Anderson, I don't know much about him, but I've seen, he was at the games the last 2 years, at least that's where I've seen him. He's probably been there more than that. I don't know his history, but man, the guy is an absolute specimen. And from what I can tell, a really good guy and one heck of an athlete. So I can only imagine what that was like for you and kind of how you approached it. When did you, going in, I don't know what your expectations were. Maybe talk to me about your expectations on, did you think you were going to podium? Did you have expectations of winning? And then at what point in the competition did you start to realize, like, I got a real shot at this?
So no, I did not have expectations of winning. I was hoping to podium. That would have been great. I've been to MFC the last couple of years. I think I was like 11th or 10th the first time, and then last year I was third. So that was awesome. But then we didn't have any as at the time games athlete, but after that, Zach Gibbon and Aaron Houchin, they both made the games following that. So they took 1 and 2. They're pretty good.
Yeah,
And
pretty
so, going into it again, I really was, like, hey, it'd be great to get podium. Second place would be awesome, but I thought Chris was going to run away with it. And then literally the first event, so the first event was heavy air deadlifts and handstand walk. And I'm like, this is a great workout for me. If I could maybe get a couple points here. And I was honestly hoping to win that one because there were a couple other events that were going to be damage control, especially the bench one that was later that night. And Chris Anderson beats me. And so I was texting with my friends afterwards.
He beat
I'm
you in
like,
the deadlift workout.
he beat me in the deadlift handstand walk workout by a second.
What?
It was bang bang. But I'm like,
Okay.
you guys, the analogy was, I'm like, it's like I picked his play in Tecmo Bowl and he still scored a touchdown. This guy's gonna run away with it. And so
I love that analogy, by the way. That's awesome.
so that was that's how we started it. And then the second event went well. It was a 2-parter, row and double unders. And so you started off as a buy-in, and that was a score, and then you continued on with the workout. So I was able to win the first part and then take second in the second part to Chris. And then we both really struggled on the bench one. I think I got 6th and he got 7th.
So you guys
And so
are like,
going into the second day, we were tied for first. So I was like, hey, I don't know, but knowing that he would have a couple other good workouts. And then I was fortunate to have a couple of good workouts for day 2. I started off with a sandbag. I like sandbags. And so
I
I
saw
was able
you
to start.
demolish that sandbag. You were like one of may be the only ones I saw that did as many touch and go as you did. I don't know if did you go fully unbroken or did you break like the last few?
No, I tried, and then I got no rep on the 13th, so I dropped it, and then so yeah, that's what I had that day. I've never done 15 in a row, obviously,
And what
but
was
yeah,
the bet?
I was gonna try 150. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Part of me was like, is that a 200-pound bag? Holy smokes. You were tossing that thing around. So was it, remind me that workout again? I went back and I watched it and I got to see Tim do this. This is so impressive. Was it just a sprint where you just did 15 and then moved on to whatever the next thing was?
yeah. So we
Okay.
had our age division was 15 bar muscle ups, 35 cal bike, and then 15 sandbags, and so it
That's
was a
right.
pretty quick workout. Almost everybody went unbroken on the bar muscle ups, and then I went slower intentionally on the bike because I wanted to go unbroken on the bag, and I just couldn't.
Yeah, got the better of you. I saw your bar muscle ups looked fantastic as well. The thing that stood out to me there, not that I didn't know we were going to get all technical, but like you catch really high. You have very little like kip over and press out on your bar muscle up. You kind of just float right into a straight armed position. And it looks very fluid. I was really, that was the thing that stood out to me the most as I was watching that event. Obviously, we hadn't gotten to your sandbags yet. I was like, wow, I think you were really, really efficient there. And aside from going unbroken, it's the efficiency of that that allowed you to maintain, some juice going into that bike. That's probably why you kicked it up a little bit on the bike more than anticipated.
That was a fun one. And then I think I actually don't remember what the next workout was, but it was at the end of day two. I was up by a couple of points, and there were a couple of workouts on day three that we knew Chris was going to be good. I actually think Chris won like 3 events in a row, starting from the end of day two into the start of day three. Actually, sorry, I won the lunge workout to start day three, and that was when I was like, okay, now I have a 6 point lead going into the last event. Now maybe, now maybe I
Okay.
just got to take seventh or better. So
Man, that's really cool. It's funny how competitions can unfold, regardless of what your expectations are. You just never know. There's so many variables that you can't account for. And it's like, hey, it's one shoulder hitch that somebody's been dealing with for a month that you didn't know about, and it gets exposed in a workout. And then all of a sudden they drop a ton of spots and you capture points. It's one tiny mistake on this random thing. It's a trip on a double under that dropped them 6 spots. And when that happens across so many different athletes, it really shakes things up. And man, to see that you capitalized and just performed so well and came out on top, what a cool accomplishment. I'm excited for you, man. That's a big deal. So, man, now like what's next? Are you taking a break now and gonna just prepare for open season? Are you thinking, hey, I'm gonna make a games run this year? What are your ambitions right now?
so Legends is next. Been to Legends
Yeah,
the
I know that.
last.
You're
That's actually
counting.
where I first started. My first year eligible for 40 to 44 Legends was at San Diego, and I'd never. That was like my first like real competition. And so I went with my wife. I'm like, hey, do we want to like? This is going to cost us money. Do we want to go? Maybe make it a vacation. So we went. I just got throttled. Like I was like in the second. There was 40 guys, so I think I took 26th or 27th, and I wasn't even close. Like I just didn't know what I was doing, and so um, yeah. And then each year, went to Mayhem one year, and then this is now the third year in a row that it's been at Arizona State University's campus, and that place is sweet. There's lots of different places they can have a field where they can do a workout on a field. We did a sandbag one out there. They have 2 floors, kind of in the gymnasium area, and then there's a pool right there connected, right? Because it's a college campus, so they can really do a lot of different things. So yeah, that's probably the next biggest. Like I would say MFC, then Legends, then the games in terms of like our area. I know Fittest of the Coast and everything else is those are big ones too. But in terms of the ones that I've been doing has been MFC and Legends, and I have not been able to make it to the games. But yeah, that'd be great if that would be if that opportunity presented itself this year.
I mean, don't let me set goals for you, but gosh, that feels like it should be on the bingo card somewhere, like you've clearly proven your fitness. And so this is your first year in the 45 to 49 division. I mean, there's some serious advantages to that. And would you say that you feel like your fitness is on an upward trajectory?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Especially being with Boulder, like Boulder is, if I thought somebody were to program one to one for me, it would be what Boulder is. Like that's working on all the stuff that I need to get better at. And so having the 2 sessions is great. I come in before school and I work. I do the main session there. That's the longest one. Do that, and then the second session, I love it because it's just machines, right? And so there's not a whole ton of warming up. I can just go there, and sometimes I'll watch a webinar, like a school webinar that I need to do. But mostly, it's just my job. My job can be stressful, and so it's my stress management. It's better to do that. Go there and ride the bike for 40 some minutes than to go home and eat a pint of ice cream. So that's I'm a stress eater, so that the second session helps me with that.
I need to do the second session. I haven't done any of these. I've talked about it a little bit. And I need to find, right now we're in football season. And I coach my kiddos' football team.
Awesome,
And
awesome.
oh, it's amazing. I love it. And
Well, you're getting some zone too, I'm sure. If you check on your watch, I'm sure you're getting your heart rate up pretty good.
probably, oh, there's plenty of moments, certainly, where my heart rate is plenty elevated. But yeah, to get home at like 8 o'clock after that and convince myself to get in the gym after I haven't seen my wife all day.
Yeah.
Tough, really tough. I have not been able to convince myself to do it. But football season will soon be wrapping up. We've only got a few weeks left, and I am eager to like really commit myself to a second session and find some kind of structure and habit to do that, because that is the difference. And I mean, honestly, your fitness is inspiring to see like what you have accomplished in MFC, the trajectory that you've been on, as I've just observed you on the leaderboard. Man, it is very clear to me that you're moving in a great direction, and MFC being a huge proof point. And yeah, there's just a lot of reasons I need to get my butt in gear on that second session, because it is my engine that is my weakness for sure. It shows up all the time, and I just haven't done what's necessary to fix it. So that's on me. You're
Well,
guilting me into it a little more.
you're doing pretty well for yourself. You took fourth, correct? The games?
I did take fourth.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah, if you start mixing in more, that's you're gonna be pretty dangerous. You already are, but even more dangerous.
Well, I appreciate that. It's definitely, as I reflect on like my growth areas, it's the engine. It's that second session. It's
Mm.
right there for me. And yeah, it's my own fault. But yeah, okay. So that's MFC. I'm going to continue to follow you. I'll be at Legends as well. I've not done MFC or Legends.
Okay.
Legends is my, like, the one I'm really excited about, given Boulder's involvement in that. Uh, yeah, I've just heard incredible things about it. And so I want to go be a part of it. And I would love to do very well. And so I need to get my stuff together, and it's going to be really cool to see so many Boulder athletes there. And I'm excited to hear that you're going to be there as well. We'll get a chance to hang. Yeah, it's going to be cool, man. All right. So let's shift gears away from fitness. I want to go back to your background. You talked about playing sports, tearing your ACL. What were some of those? It doesn't have to be sports related. If you were to characterize yourself, like who you are today, if you were to just, you don't have to come up with these words. I won't put you on the spot, but if you had like 3 defining characteristics of who you are, as you then kind of work back towards your childhood, were there some things that ultimately shaped you to become those things?
I love helping people, I like to consider myself like a service leader. So within the school system, I'm trying to help the kids, help the staff, help parents in any way that I can, and try to be fair while doing that. And looking back, like I don't think anybody knows it in the moment, but looking back, like my mom was a huge leader. She also was in education. She was a teacher. She was the student council advisor. She was the union for a long time, and I think that helps me now. I know that helps me now in our job. There are some school districts where admin and the union don't get along, but we've got a great relationship here, and that was already established prior to me becoming the superintendent. But I think I have a good sense on what that's like for on their side as well as on our side, and so I think that helps us communicate. So, but yeah, I would say that my mom was definitely a big time. She was a leader, and we're Mexican, and so growing up in our town, it was predominantly white, and so especially during that time when we were growing up, there was some challenges with that. So for her to be a female minority leader within a school district is pretty awesome. And so,
That's cool. Yeah, I love that. I think back to my childhood, and by the way, I did not prepare an answer for this same question, but there are so many things that I could point to that shape who I like. Injuries, for example, going through an ACL injury, that's one. Like, talk about real resilience. At that time when you went through it, I tore mine in, I don't know, 2005 or something like that. And it was not a, hey, you're back in 6 months, 9 months, full recovery. It's a real grind. Like that one, you start to think about, am I ever going to do the things I used to do again in those days? Because you just didn't know that many people who were coming back from it and doing the things that they once did. And I think about the coaches in my life that were fantastic and inspiring and really pushed me. And I think of the ones that just like really challenged me emotionally and to the point where it made me want to stop because they were just so hard to be around. I'm curious, other people in your life, your mom clearly was inspiration. What other people in your life do you think were kind of sources of inspiration for you?
Yeah, I would say my brother, my older brother, like I think typically if you have and he was a great athlete, he was on, varsity as freshman for different sports. And so, watching that, then you want to be as good as him. And so he was always, I mean, he was just a stud throughout high school and could play baseball in college, but he also was coaching as well. So that's when we both came up here and we taught and coached together. So yeah, I would say my brother. I don't know, I guess lucky for sure in that I want to be intrinsically, like I just want to be the best at whatever it is. If we're playing checkers, if it's our state scores here, if it's whatever it is, I want to be the best. But I think I'm also lucky that it's not like I guess I use this phrase. I'm also a good loser in that if we don't win, I think actually we'll say John Wooden. So I like John Wooden's. I've read a lot of his books, and it's like as long as you prepare and do everything to the best of your ability, like you can't lose. Like that's the thing. So if somebody else shows up and they're better, show up to MFC, Chris Anderson's there, games athlete. If he ends up winning, hey, you just got to do the best you can in all of your events. And so yeah, I think that's kind of where I go with it. If we do everything here at our school, if we, you teach the right way, do all those things, like that's the best that you can do. And so then that obviously carries over to fitness, right? You can only do the best that you can do. If somebody else shows up and they're better than you, then hats off to them, congratulate them. And that's how the world works.
That's right. I love that philosophy. I certainly have adopted that for myself. I'm curious, being like essentially a badass and you're a superintendent, what's that like at school? The kids, do they have any sense of what you do in your off hours and the work that you put in before school and after school and the events that you're competing in? Any idea about it?
I think maybe some do. I don't really, other than, I mean, if they find it on Instagram, then they can, but I try to not do that. But it's come out more because we actually started an affiliate at our school a couple of years ago. And so our kids now can do CrossFit and our staff does CrossFit. So we actually, for our staff, we do it 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. CrossFit CASD. CASD is our Crawford Rosabo School District. So yeah, we were able to, Jordan Webb, part of the Mayhem crew, he when we went to Tennessee for Legends, I stayed with him, and then we went over to his school. He's like, "You want to see my affiliate?" And so I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So we go there, and he explained that you could get affiliated. I didn't even know that was a thing. So when we got back from Legends, yeah, we signed the paperwork and got our school affiliated, and so now we have CrossFit classes at our school, and we run CrossFit after school for our staff.
That's super cool. I mean, is the mechanics of getting a school affiliated the same as getting any affiliate affiliated?
Easier because we're nonprofit, so we don't have an affiliate fee. So I sign the paper and we will digitally sign it, and so we're able to do it. So like, yeah, our kids don't pay anything for it, our staff don't pay anything for it. So we just we just
Whoa.
run it.
Okay. Take note of that, all who are listening. If you have any strings to pull in the school system, get that thing affiliated. I had no idea. That's a really slick little loophole.
It's awesome because there are no boxes. I mean,
Yeah.
half hour is the closest one. And then you're talking an hour plus away. And so like our staff, nobody had any clue what the open was. And then this past year we had 16 staff members compete in the open, and they're already looking forward to next year. And so that's cool. That's by far the best part of my day. Well, that going in the morning to the elementary school and giving high fives to the kids, that's the best part of the day. The second best part is having the staff come in there and, watching somebody get their first box jump or, get a little bit further back on the wall walk or the first double under is awesome because it's just all brand new here.
So then who's instructing these classes?
Me, and then we have another guy, Jeremy Carr. He's our assistant principal at the middle school. He does it as well.
Okay, and you guys are both like L1 and beyond
Yeah,
certified?
yeah. I was able to get my L2 this year because of the LOR. So we had to get the L2, which is great. I'm glad I did it, and I'm going to encourage some. So we have a couple of our PE teachers also have their L1, so they can do it in the class. But hopefully by next year they'll get their L2s, just because that's the one where I don't know if do you have L1 or L2?
I used to have both, and
Okay, awesome.
I don't know how long they last, but I don't imagine they are still active.
Right. But used to like the L1 is the knowledge base, right? But L2, that's really where the coaching, that's where that's where you grow the most and learn the most there. So hopefully by next year we can get those in there. Because selfishly, I got a couple daughters in school, and so they like the CrossFit class, and they're doing well.
That's really cool. So you don't have to pay, the school doesn't have to pay an affiliate fee. You're not
Correct.
charging anybody for it. So this affiliate is not generating revenue. You're just offering a service.
Correct.
And so the teachers, are they getting a stipend of any kind to support the classes? Or they just do it? Is essentially a volunteer coaching scenario?
So they come in, and what's awesome too is our schools are a couple miles apart each. And so I remember when I worked at the high school, I didn't know anybody at the middle school or the elementary school. And then when I went to the middle school, again, you kind of lose touch with the high school. Still don't know anybody at the elementary school. Now in this role, I know all three buildings, but so having this together, now we've got elementary teachers that get to know high school teachers, get to know middle school teachers. We have our office. Some of our baddest workers in there are our secretaries, front office staff.
It's
So
awesome.
that's great. Yeah.
Huh, that's really cool. That's totally a surprise. I had no idea that that was a part of the affiliate process or even an option. I wonder how well known that is, and I wonder how many have taken advantage of that. Because that, I mean, that's good in so many ways. Obviously, not having an affiliate fee is kind of one of the obvious ones, but man, the opportunity to expose kids to CrossFit at a young age and get them excited about fitness, like, wow, what a cool thing. My daughter right now, we have a box down the street, shout out CrossFit Big Rock. She just started taking some classes there a couple months ago. The school, she goes to a middle school in the neighboring town, and they bus her directly to the CrossFit, and she does this class in the afternoon right after school. A little bit reluctant to do it initially, but now she's totally loving it. She's got her friends that are coming to join her to do it. She comes home and she's like, "Dad, I deadlifted 100 pounds. Dad, we
I
did
love it.
cleans for the first time." And
Yeah.
that's so
And
cool.
what's great about that age level is they still, most of them, especially the middle school ish, I mean, they still have the baby mobility. So it's like, hey, let's get a PVC pipe and let's get into an overhead squat. We use the overhead squat as part of our, because like that's the most challenging, especially for older people, right? Position to get into. So it's like if we can get them in the overhead squat now and then keep doing it. And I was like, hey, go home and get a broom out and show your parents this, and they'll all think that they can do it. And then you can have a nice little giggle with them when they can't.
Yeah,
Maybe bet them something.
that's super smart. Yeah, I really like that. She walks out I'm out in the garage in the morning and she's going to school and getting her backpack on and getting her shoes together and all the things, and I'm out there just clanging and banging and making a huge mess, and she's seen me do that for so many years and been like, "What is this guy doing?" And now she's
Yeah.
got a little bit of experience and a little exposure, and the fact that we can share that in just the smallest degree right now is really cool, and yeah, I hope she sticks with it. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. My two, I have three daughters. One's in college right now, but the other two are in high school, and so they took their CrossFit class. So that was cool to, hey, would you guys work out? And then they were able to explain the workout. So that was pretty cool.
Right on. You have kids?
Yep, yep. Three daughters.
Whoo! How old?
Yep. So our oldest is in college, second year in college. She's 20, and then we have a senior in high school and a sophomore in high school.
Man, okay, you're definitely in the grit
Old. Yeah.
drama stages. I mean, 3 girls, wow. I mean, I have to ask this. Was it obviously you 2 girls and, "Hey, we're gonna try for a third, see what happens," or were you just like, "I want another daughter"? Like, I mean, you can't say all these things totally publicly, but
No,
I know
yeah,
what
it
I would be
was.
thinking if after 2 girls, I'm like, "Well, I kind of like to shake things up here with a boy on the 3rd one."
honestly, we just wanted a healthy baby, right? And that's the
That's the only
easy
thing that matters
answer.
ultimately.
But the practical answer is, hey, we've already got all these clothes and these toys and everything else. So if it is a girl, not all bad. So
Yeah, you're set. Oh man, well, what a blessing. No doubt you're getting totally overrun in the household, but
yeah, so we had to get a cat and a dog, both males, to try to balance the scales. But I don't know if that worked. My wife and I are super lucky. The three great girls that all like school and do well, and hopefully they're gonna find something that they enjoy doing outside of school and get careers that we always tell them, right? You find something that you enjoy doing, and you're never at work.
yeah, good philosophy. Let's shift gears to Boulder a little bit. So you said you've been doing Boulder for about a year now. What were you
Yeah, I
doing
think a little
before?
over the year. I think I had started a few weeks leading into last year's MFC. So it's been a little over a year. Yeah.
Were you on Mayhem before?
Yes.
Okay, because so was I, and I swore that I would see your name on the
Oh
leaderboard
yeah, I
there.
remember seeing your name way up the top there.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Uh,
You had the running pose, the picture. I remember that.
did I? I'm sure you're right, but I do recall seeing you and early on identified like, hey, this is a legit athlete, and I don't know many people on that leaderboard. And you're trying to figure out like, where do I stack up and who can I compare some scores with too? And you were one of those guys for me. And so your name stood out. And then when I came to Boulder, I'm pretty sure you were already there. I think you were there before I was and saw your name again and was like, "Oh, great. Okay. A face and a name I recognize
hmm
right away." What drew you to Boulder and like talk to me about your experience?
So I think Jason had just won his fifth, and then he was giving away 5 weeks for free. So I'm like, hey, I'm a sucker for free. Let's try it out. And looking and I've watched all of his content prior. I followed him when he was with Mayhem, and I watched all of his stuff when he was in the camper moving around. That whole journey of his. And so I really liked his stuff, and I agreed with a lot of what he was doing. And then trying out the 5 weeks, I kind of have that analytical brain where I liked his linear progressions. I liked that we're going to do this phase and we're going to ramp up linearly, have a deload week or a pullback drawback week. Like all that makes sense to me. And again, starting off days with gymnastics as a warm up, but it's really like a workout for most other people, and then building into there has been awesome for me. And then again, that second session was really kind of the sealer for me, where hey, he gets it. You can't. It's tough to get back in the weight room for the second day, and now we're gonna warm up and do some cleans, and like that's where the elbow starts to nag at you, and the shoulder and everything else. It's like, all right, I can get in there, and I can. Obviously, it's better if you warm up for zone two stuff, but you don't have to, and you can still get in a decent enough workout there in the second session. So. Um, yeah, so the linear progressions I loved. I loved the deload weeks, and then that second session was a sealer for me.
So you've now been doing it for a year. I'm curious. So you've seen obviously kind of how those things had progressed, how the programming was structured early on. We've just in this new cycle, which I'm excited about, shaken things up a little bit.
hmm
I know I was really very familiar with like our rhythm. Hey, we're going to do this on this day. We're going to do that on that day. And this is just how we roll. And you can expect that this thing is going to be in the second half of this workout. And so now we've tweaked it a little bit and just trying to see like, how does that impact the way that you feel and the way that you're kind of engaging in the workouts. I'm curious to get your perspective on one, have you noticed any of those changes and what are your thoughts on
Well, I'm like most people, and I love change.
it?
Most people don't like change, right? And so I tried to go into it with an open mind. But yeah, when I first saw it, I'm like, man, I like squatting on Wednesday because then I get the active recovery day on Thursday. But now it's only 2 weeks into it, and really my first week wasn't. I was still recovering from MFC. But this past Monday, I loved the power cleaning and doing all that on Monday. Like I'm fresh coming into it, ready to go. So that was a really good session. I'll still have to see how Tuesdays go with squatting. I don't have the best knees, right? Again, coming from the ACL surgery, but again, just grateful to be able to squat. That's one of the things that I think injuries really point out too. It's like can't really complain about squatting not feeling great because I wasn't able to squat for probably, I don't know, it was months. It was since last February. So or last January. So but yeah, I it's smart to do the change because the body eventually gets used to, even though he's always changing the workouts anyways, but still the body always gets used to on Mondays doing this type of muscle group and on Fridays doing that. And so it is smart to change it up. And so looking forward to it for sure.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. I also totally appreciate like really consistent structure, but I did find myself like less about physically how I was responding because I was responding well, I was adapting, I was getting fitter and fitter, and I was certainly loving that. But it was my just psychological engagement is what I'm finding now is upticking with the ship.
Hmm.
And I had anticipated that that would probably happen, as I know that's the case for many. But it's been more than I even thought, and just going like, "Hey, what's," I'm actually not quite sure what today is. I got to look at it, and that little bit of unknown has added just a little bit of energy that I need right now in this season to get my butt in gear, as I feel like I'm still trying to recover from the games. Honestly,
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, there were often times where I'm a big time. I'm going to look at the workout the night before. Like I like to do that as I'm getting ready for bed, and then kind of think about that as I go through. But there were times in the past where I might not do that because I know we're squatting and doing sandbags tomorrow, so I'll kind of figure out when I get there. But now, yeah, it's a little bit like a little present. I got the Normatec boots on. Pull up the and see, hey, what's tomorrow? Oh, all right, that's different. So
okay. Well, now we got to get into this. What does your daily schedule look like? Because we've talked about a few things. You keep introducing more. Now we need to get all your secrets. You're waking up in the morning. You're going early to train. This is your first session. I think you're going to the school to do it. Which, by the way, you guys have a really sweet gym. I see you're
yeah, it's
on all
awesome.
over Instagram. I get to see these different rooms that you're training in. You've got ropes. You've got a gymnasium. I think you can access if you need to. There's clearly a like a CrossFit space there as well. Super slick.
Hmm.
So you're waking up in the morning. I'm going to miss a bunch of things. So you got to fill in the gaps for me. But you're doing a workout in the morning. You're doing your day job. You go back for a second session. You're cool down and you're cutting up your Instagram videos. Then you are hitting the Normatec boots
Hmm.
each night.
Almost every night, but if my girls have like a volleyball game or a game or whatever, then I won't be able to get them in. Although I should probably bring them into the stadium to the stands. That's next level, but I haven't done that yet.
Yeah,
No.
that gets you a few looks. Who's that guy? Dad, can you take the
Yeah.
Normatec boots off? Oh, yeah. That'd be pretty good. Well, what other tips and tricks? What about nutrition? Talk to me about your nutrition a little bit. You strike me as a meal prep type of guy. You're bringing your lunches with you to school, and like walk me through what your daily nutrition looks like.
Yeah. So my Monday through Friday is super boring to the I'm sure to the average person. Like you said, like my schedule is the same. Wake up at 4, go work out, come back, and then Um, and that's when I cook all my meals for the day. So I'm able to bring them partly because when I'm at school, I'm actually super stressed. So I'm not hungry. And so I have to remind myself to eat during the school day. And so I can pack just beef and rice. So what? Like I'm just eating it anyways. It is what it is. I don't have to have anything fancy. And then, so I have all my meals done for the day. I will tell, okay. So if everybody wants a trick, or tip, like the Ninja Creamy, not sponsored, although I will take a sponsorship if they want. Ninja Creamy has saved me big time. I told you, like, I'm a stress eater, so I have those ready. And so that's what I eat at
What
night while I
I
have the
don't know what a
Normatec.
Ninja Creamy is.
Yeah, so Ninja Creamy is you freeze like a protein powder with milk the night before, and then you put in there, and then it mixes it up like ice cream. And it's awesome. So I'm able to eat that every night as I had the Normatec boots on. So yeah, so finish up with school. So anytime between 4 and 5 o'clock, I'm able to get into the zone 2 session, and then yeah, I get home, shower, put the boots on, have the Ninja Creamy ready, and watch TV with my wife for about 30 minutes while the boots are on, and then get ready for bed and recycle that. So we're super boring. We don't do a lot. We don't go out a lot, but then we take big trips. I got some Disney stuff in the back here, so I'm a Disney nerd. We're a Disney family. 99% of the year we're super boring. We don't really go out or eat out very much. But then a couple times during the year we go to Disney. So that's where we spend that money.
Got it. Well, I can totally appreciate it. My wife and our family were very much the same.
All right.
Relative to our friends, I think we would fall into the boring category. We tend not to go out much. We have the same darn meals each day of the week. Like we could, Mondays are this, Tuesdays are that, and so on. I eat the same lunch every day. I usually fast, intermittent fast, and so I don't eat breakfast.
Okay.
My first meal is at 11 a.m. And then, yeah, same stuff. And then usually Fridays and Saturdays, we'll maybe shake it up. Like Saturdays, we'll
Hmm.
probably order or we'll go out or order in rather. We don't go out to eat, but we'll go get something to eat, some takeout or something kind of fun. Have a cheat meal and a treat, something at the end of the night, like some kind of cookie. And yeah, Saturdays are our go big day. And then we're back on the wagon and start the whole thing over.
See, that's my thing. You said have a cookie. So there's no 5 on my dial. I'm a 0 or a 10 type of guy. So if I go the whole day without eating junk food, I'm fine. But as soon as I have a fun size Snickers bar, it's over.
Yeah, the whole
And
day.
I'm just chasing that high the rest of the day until I go to sleep. So, but yeah, sometimes that happens on Saturday. So I try to delay that as long as
That's
possible because I know it won't stop till I go to sleep. So,
That's so right. I'm totally the same. And so one cookie I was totally underselling. Like we'll get a box of cookies from Safeway, and then we have to like, okay, I get these 4, and these are monster cookies. That's typically what I'll go with. And then it's like we need to throw the rest away because they
mhm.
can't be in the house because be just, Josh, I'll just be thinking about them the next day, and I'll go smash them. So those have to go away. It reminds me of this analogy that has always stuck with me, and you can tie it to your diet because this is what we do. But what you wouldn't do in this situation, if you popped a tire on the side of the road, what would you do? You would get out, you would fix the tire, and you get back on the road. What you wouldn't do is go out and go, pop all other 3 tires. But that's what we
Right.
do with our diet, right?
Yeah.
You make one mistake and you're like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm just going
I
off
get
the rails completely. Pop all the tires. It's so hard to just go fix that tire and get back on track.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. If I break the seal, it's game over. That's the trick. Okay, for folks that are listening, don't break the seal. I guess I guess that's what we're getting at here. Well, Tim, I appreciate you sharing those hot tips, man. And I think if we were to survey some of the most, not that we're putting ourselves in this camp, let me be clear. But as you survey some of the most successful people, athletes in particular, in their fields, whether that's the Michael Jordans, the Matt Frasers, the Pete Sampratzes, like whoever, um, you know, they do live a pretty boring lifestyle. Like that is it. Most people consider it boring because they're just hyper focused on the thing, which is what they want to accomplish. And they know all of the things that are necessary to accomplish that. And it involves getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep and eating
Mhm.
really well, reducing the stress in your life as much as you can. And there's just so much that goes into it. And that ends up meaning you don't go out, you don't hang with your friends, you're not having drinks, you're not eating anything fun. It starts to look a little boring on paper, but it's kind of what's necessary. Not that that's where we're at, but yeah, those are the things that you've got to consider if you want to accomplish some pretty cool stuff in the sport.
Part of what I've got going too is like the working out for me is definitely mental health. Like that's like, talk about stress relief and everything else. Like if I don't work out, I don't feel right. I don't feel, I don't know if accomplished is the right word, but like that's like I need to work out, and that's part of that whole stress management deal. Everyone has their own thing, and we try to find that here at our school district, right? Because mental health's big time deal for our kids and for our staff. And so for some staff that want to come in and do CrossFit, that's awesome. We've got that for them. We have walking clubs. We have some other things that we try to do with our staff because that's super important, right? And any job, but right now, especially in teaching, it's a tough gig, and so try to find that spot for them. And so we're lucky here in that we've got equipment, and so that was already there established for us. So to be able to affiliate our gym, we're able to allow our staff to be able to do that. So
Grateful for your time. It's really cool to catch up. I'm grateful that we have guys like you that are holding positions that you hold, where you get just so much influence over kids, and like to do this in the way that you're doing, setting a really good example, whether they know or not, all of the hard work that you put in, the consistency and structure that you have in your life. I hope you share that in a whatever way feels natural and appropriate, because I think you would influence more kids than you probably even realize. Yeah, and then the fact that you get to help introduce CrossFit to kids in this stage of their lives and fall in love with fitness and get humbled the way that CrossFit does, which a lot of kids, need nowadays as well. And to establish the resilience that comes with CrossFit. Also, just what a great skill, and that's pretty cool, man. You're doing some big stuff, and I appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you. What you're doing here, the Boulder podcast that you're running here is awesome. So, I enjoy looking every week or so when the episode comes out. Cause like you said, it's like, you see what are other people doing? Like sometimes we can get lost in our own, right? We can lost and whatever we're doing. And then you see somebody else talk. It's like, oh yeah, that's I have the same type of ideas. So it's good.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, man. It means a lot. All right. Until next time, Tim.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Team, thanks for checking out the Boulder Athlete Podcast. We are so grateful that you did. Wherever you're watching or listening, please like and subscribe so we can keep bringing you more stories from this great community.